Jeff Katz, News Radio WRVA. It is Wednesday afternoon. Can you tell it's Wednesday afternoon? I mean, this is the weird thing. For those of us who are working from home, I got news for you. Every day just sort of feels the same. It really does. It just sort of blends together. Look, I'm fortunate. I'm not breaking rocks in the hot sun. I'm not stocking shelves down at the Food Lion. I'm sitting in a pretty comfortable house looking at this beautiful view out the window, talking with some people. You know, it's not a bad gig. It's not as good a gig as being at the development center when it comes to brewing, you know, like being the master distiller at A. Smith Bowman Distillery, but it's close. Now, I did mention it's 4:30, so we're exactly 90 minutes away from a cocktail hour here at the Katz family estate. Brian Prewitt is joining us. He is the master distiller over at A. Smith Bowman Distillery. Brian, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Well, it is our pleasure. And before we really dive into any of the functions of the distillery and what you guys are doing, you know the question everybody wants to know. How did you get that job, and are there any more openings?
It was a long and trying process, and I just happened to worm my way into the front of the line, and
is that right?
and they picked my straw, and I made it.
And that is your story. You're going to stick with it, huh?
Well, maybe not that exact story, but we'll change it up a little bit. But a lot of years studying under a lot of master distillers.
So that's what you call it. See, my bride just says, "Okay, you've had enough." I can tell her now. No, I am studying under the master distillers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you have a drink, and that's work.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's exhausting, Brian. Goodness gracious,
it's awful.
Oh. Now, listen, I happen to be a really big Bowman fan, and I'm not blowing any smoke about that. I love the various and sundry beverages, the libations that I've had from you guys. You want to give everybody just a sense of what you're doing, and frankly, in this day and age with coronavirus and the rest of it, how it's impacting you?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we're known as a bourbon distillery, but we do bourbon, rum, gin, vodka, and we have a full line of gins, actually, and a cream liqueur. And, of course, when COVID came around, we lost, all of our on-premise, all of our restaurant sales, immediately went out the window. Of course, had to close down the distillery to tourism and, of course, sales. But fortunately, the state helped us out and allowed us to do in-state shipping, which immediately brought all of our sales back. Which was really great. Be able to sell all of our products to all of our fans across the state, and so we've actually been really busy. So we picked up, I would say, all of the business that we lost in the restaurants and on premise. We picked up and some. So, and then the hand sanitizer on top of it. So we've been absolutely busy.
Now, wait a minute. Okay, so now I know about the bourbons. This is the first I'm hearing about the full line of the gins. Hand sanitizer?
Yeah, absolutely. So so of course the bourbons, there's the Bowman Brothers, the Isaac, and the John Jay, and then the gins. We have our Tinkermans. We have 3 different lines of gin, and the hand sanitizer is something that we did. We saw the need for in our community for first responders and the hospital and nonprofits and of course now customers to make hand sanitizer. It was hard to find surface sanitizing and hand sanitizer around, so we started doing that. I think we've donated to well over 60 or 70 different nonprofit groups, and we continue to do that. So, and we'll continue to do it until it's no longer needed.
Wow. Well, that is very, very cool. Now, the bourbons, as I said, that's something I'm a huge fan of. And bourbon has begun to catch on, has it not, around the country? It used to be we had folks who were into certain types of liquors, and then I know you had other sorts that were kind of like the flavor of the week, right? Like there was a big tequila craze for a while, but bourbons are one of those consistently present libations.
Yeah, bourbon. Bourbon for years was down, and it is hot right now. It has been a category that just keeps growing and growing, and you see, easily double-digit growth in the bourbon category over the last couple of years, and we appreciate that fact because that's something that we specialize in. So it's been keeping us very busy, and of course, even though it's been picking up, we still want to make the great products that we do.
Yeah. Well, now, what about the crazy expensive stuff? We were joined by Brian Prewitt from A. Smith Bowman Distillery. I see sometimes where the ABC says, "Oh, we're going to have a like a lottery, and you get the chance to bid on or buy a bottle that's $500." Now, I like bourbon. I mean, I like bourbon a lot, but am I really missing out if I'm not tasting something that costs a few $100s a bottle?
Well, we're one of those distilleries that, we do have some of that stuff that goes into the lottery, but we always make sure that it doesn't go out at an exorbitant price. So the highest bottle that we've ever sold to the public has been $100. Now, some of those things on the secondary market will collect, several $1,000s. On the secondary, but we really want to make sure that we're putting a product out there that is an approachable price point, and some of our experiments are absolutely, they're one of a kind. They're amazing, very well aged and unique, and if you're willing to wait in line or get the draw on the lottery, then they're well worth it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm thinking I may now have a connection at the distillery. They can at least let me know when this stuff is coming about. And speaking of the distillery, we talked with this coronavirus stuff that people really couldn't come to the distillery anymore. Are you guys going to be back up and available for tours and stuff?
We are, yeah. So starting the 1st. So we've been closed since March, basically. And July 1st will be our first day back, and we're doing a lot of things to keep the public safe, to keep the tourists who come in and anybody who comes into our shop safe. We've done, of course, sanitizer stations. We've built walls to keep separate between the production environment and the tourism environment. And temperature screens and all those kind of things, and of course we're sanitizing everywhere. That's one of the benefits of being a distillery. We happen to have lots of sanitizer around, so we're going to make sure that we're sanitizing on a regular basis, and it's going to be great to really have people back in the distillery again.
I'll bet. Now, for folks who are hearing about this and thinking, all right, we're finally going to be able to get out of the house, we want to go, how do they learn more? Is there a great website for them to go to?
Absolutely. So, and that's the one thing I didn't mention is that we are doing reservation only for tours. So they have to go to our website and make a reservation, or give us a call and make a reservation. So it's asmithbowman.com, or they can call the gift shop directly, and that number is online as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I must confess that as much of your product as I have consumed, and that's brutally honest, I really do like what you guys are brewing. I haven't been out to the distillery, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that the next time one of our special guests, a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Galliano, who is a retired FBI agent, lives up in New York, Brian. When he was down here a couple of months ago to visit, I gave him a bottle of one of your bourbons, and he just raved about it. So,
oh, spectacular.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get him actually out to the distillery the next time he ventures south of the Mason-Dixon line. Brian, I really do appreciate you being here, and again, love what you guys are doing. I've got to check out the gins because I honestly didn't know you had a gin line, and I'm looking forward to getting to the distillery. And I know we can't shake hands, but maybe we can high five each other or something.
A virtual Air 5, one of those, something like that.
That'll do it. Well, Brian, I appreciate you being here, my friend. That is Brian Prewitt. He is the master distiller at A. Smith Bowman Distillery. If you like bourbon, you can, in my opinion, you can get any bourbon that those guys have made, and you will be happy. I've never paid $100 a bottle. Now, he said they have some stuff that costs $100 a bottle, which is very cool. That's wonderful, but I'm telling you, I've never paid that over at the Virginia ABC store, and I've enjoyed everything I've had. Didn't know they had gins. Going to have to try that because you get into summer weather and you change your beverages a little bit, right? There's not a lot of dark liquor that a lot of people are drinking right now. You're not necessarily doing a lot with bourbon. Well, you know what? Maybe you're doing like an old-fashioned whiskey sour. We did that the other day here on the deck, and that was good. I mean, that was nice and refreshing. But generally speaking, you want something lighter in body, lighter in the actual color of the liquor, like a vodka or a gin. So we're going to have to try the gins that they have. They sound absolutely delicious. Jeff Katz, News Radio WRVA.